Thanks for tuning in and welcome to the Post Route Show. And now, here's your host, W. Earl Kitchings.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Post Route. I'm your host, W. Earl Kitchings. Hey, you know what the show is all about. This is a show where we dive deep into conversations with Black quarterbacks, past and present. Our show is proudly brought to you by Quarter Five Back, the preeminent fraternity of Black quarterbacks, home of the prestigious BIP Memorial Trophy, the only national award that honors both the top HBCU quarterback and the top Black quarterback from high schools across the nation. We're thrilled to have you with us every Monday night here at 7 p.m. So if you enjoy what we're doing, please support what we're doing. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, tap the notification bell, go on Instagram and sign up for getting your notices on Instagram. Just know that at quarter5back.com, you can get more information. That is our website. Those are the ways you can support us and help us and find out more about what our mission is, which is to preserve the legacies of Black quarterbacks. Join us every Monday night right here, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for more phenomenal conversation. Well, we got another good one tonight, and man, he's a profound guy who played collegiate football, and we're going to get to him because he set some records and he played at a very historical, one of the most historical Black colleges in the nation. So we're going to get to him. But before we do that, we want to recognize our posthumous quarterback for the month of July. And that would be this gentleman by the name of Floyd Butch Meadows. Floyd Butch Meadows played at West Virginia State College. 1936 was the year they went 7-0-1. He was an All-American, and that year they won the national title for Black colleges. Now, I know 1936 is a long time ago. However, here at Quarter Five Back, it does not matter when or where. We are those guys that look up that information. So when we found out about this gentleman and what he had done for that school, which many of you don't hear much about because it is located in a state that probably the only two schools you are familiar with is the University of West Virginia and Marshall, but there are two Black colleges up there, West Virginia State, and the other one would be Bluefield State. But tonight we would like to honor posthumously our brother, Floyd Butch Meadows, West Virginia State, 1935-1936, All-American quarterback from that state. Then we want to get to our more important piece of work that we're working on right now going forward. We have started an initiative called I Am a Quarterback. This is a 5-point initiative related to the preparation and development of Black quarterbacks with the goal of remaining focused on this position. It is the most iconic position in football, and we want to make sure that we start to talk to our young men about maintaining that focus and staying on task. If you want to be a quarterback, then stay on task and let folks know that's what your job is. That's what you want to be. And once you get it, hold on to it. Our 5 initiatives are this: belief in being a quarterback. Number 2 is foundation and focus of being a quarterback. You got to have focus. You got to always stay focused in on what you're doing. Then you know that from being a quarterback, you have leadership. And leadership also means being a commander. So you got to lead your team, lead others, lead from the front. 4th, one of the most critical things that all of us need to be focused on is academics and intellect. You can't get it done unless you're in that classroom learning as much as you can and gaining all the knowledge that you can, because from knowledge, you will acquire wisdom, because wisdom comes from experience and they overlap. And then finally, the standard of being a Black quarterback is what your worth and your value is as a player, as a part of a team, as a member of an organization, you are the standard. Maintain it, embrace it, embody it, and go forth with it. This is our initiative of I Am a Quarterback. We're changing the narrative on the way people look at it, speak about it, and embrace it. So that's who we are. That's what we do here at Quarter Five Back. Now, let me get to my guest tonight. Let me tell you, this gentleman is one of the most prolific passers at his institution. He played at one of the most historical Black universities in the entire United States. The place that Booker T. Washington founded, the place where Dr. George Washington Carver did a lot of his research, a lot of his work. That's right, I'm talking about Tuskegee University in Tuskegee, Alabama. Well, tonight my guest is one of the most prolific passers in the history of the Golden Tigers, and I am so honored to have him with us tonight because he did some work. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did while he was at Tuskegee. Oh, by the way, he hails from Tampa, Florida, just for those of us who want to talk about homeboys. But he hails from Tampa, Florida, and there have been some outstanding quarterbacks from Tampa, Blake High School. But tonight, please join me in welcoming my guest on the show, Mr. Kevin Huff, Tuskegee Golden Tigers. Kevin, what's up?
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Man, you know I'm doing great. You know I'm doing great, man. Just so glad to have you with me tonight, man. After our phone calls are chopping it up a little bit on the phone, man, I couldn't wait till we get started tonight because it's like the conversation had to stop because we had to go and do something else. But, man, I'm so happy to have you with us tonight.
I'm glad to be here, man. It's always good to get recognized and for recognition to come amongst, Black quarterbacks all across the nation. I'm very, very thankful.
Well, I gotta ask you about that school down there in Tampa, man, because that was a historical high school that you went to, man, a lot of tradition. Blake High School, man, my dad he coached against those guys back when he was coaching. And they were a profound team to deal with out of that Tampa area. I think it was Blake, and what was the other school down there?
Middleton.
Middleton, there you go. Man, I mean, it's almost like in these cities, man, you got two Black high schools, they're just instant rivals, and they just beat up on each other at the right. At Blake High School back in the day. What was it like for you back in the day to be that quarterback at a profound school like Blake High School?
Just getting back to the traditions in which I grew up and hearing about it, but a little backstory to that. Hillsborough County neglected a lot of the Black schools back in the day. So what they did was they took Middleton and they took Blake and they made them into middle schools.
Right.
So they didn't quite give away the history per se, but what they did was they made them into middle schools in the local area and built high schools around, so those kids didn't have a tradition. And the Black communities in West Tampa and in East Tampa fought to get those schools back to high school standards, and I was able to be the second graduate class of that school coming back. But the history was there. My head coach, Coach Higdon, told us all about Big Jim Williams, the world-fied big coach, back in Tampa. So it was an honor and it was a pleasure to play for Blake High School.
Well, when you have that kind of honor going on, man, and then of course, did your parents go to one of those schools?
Actually, no. My my mother went to the oldest high school in the county, which is Hillsboro, and my dad is from up north. He's from Ohio.
Oh, wow.
And we'll talk about that. But he went to a school called Lorraine High School.
And what city is Lorraine in?
Lorraine, Ohio.
Lorraine, Ohio.
Yes.
Now I know he bragged. I know he probably bragged about football up there in that Ohio area, man. I know they play some football up there. I'm sure he bragged a lot about being able to play football up there in Ohio.
Right. He did a lot.
Okay. So did you play some other position besides quarterback, Kevin? I mean, or that's always been what you've done?
I played a lot. I mean, I could have went Division I playing safety. A lot of even at my first high school, I transitioned from quarterback to safety.
Okay.
But the athleticism was there. So just being that type of athlete and just being a football person, it didn't really matter. But my heart was to play quarterback.
Well, I'm glad to hear that your heart was there, man, because that kind of touches on our initiative, because I've seen so many times where guys are asked to transition. They put the title, "Hey, Kevin, you're a great athlete, man. Man, we want to try you at a position, safety. I think you make a great safety." That's not where my heart is, Coach. I could do it, but I don't want to do it.
Right.
How hard is it to resist coaches wanting to make you something other than what you really want to be?
Well, it's very difficult, especially on the different levels that you go to. I had to experience, even at the junior college level, moving from quarterback to wide receiver. It was something that, wasn't discussed. It was just like, hey, I went to my locker one time, and the first day of pass, I got number 80, and I'm looking around like, who's number 80? I'm from Florida. Numbers mean a lot in Florida, so I know a position that is. And we got to working, and I hear my name called. You're the Z. Huff, you're gonna play Z. I'm like, I'm here to play quarterback, So, but it worked out because, I had dual opportunities, and my athleticism and the way that I played quarterback, they couldn't hide it. So they always kept me in the loop as a quarterback. But to answer your question, it's very difficult knowing what you want to do. But, sometimes, it works out. If somebody sees something in you at another position, it might work out. But other times, you might not put your all into it because that's something that you really, really see yourself doing.
Well, no doubt about that, man. And, when I've looked at some of the quarterbacks of recent years, of a modern day era, I mean, from the 90s till now, and look at even some of them who were quarterbacks and earned the title of Mr. Football. Now, you earned the title of Mr. Football as a quarterback. That pretty much should lock you in for that being the position you're going to play if you're going to go to college. I mean, they're not moving you around, but when I've seen some of these guys earn that, and then when they get to college, they get moved. I understand that because I had a guy who went to my high school, and I always thought that they moved him from quarterback to playing linebacker. And I always used to be a little salty about that. But then when he told me, he said, "No, Mr. Kitchings, I asked to be switched." I'm like, okay, I understand. It's okay when you want to make the change, but when they are forcing guys to make the change, that's what really bothers me. So to hear that, they saw you as an athlete and they thought they could, move you, okay, but the cream comes to the top and your skills showed out. So, I mean, okay. So you leave the JUCO, and was the first stop Tuskegee, or who came and got you from the junior college to come to Tuskegee?
It was Tuskegee. I had about 7 offers.
Yeah.
But how Coach Kevin and Coach Woody went about it with my mom, and knowing the understanding and knowing the situation in which I was dealing with, it was a no-brainer for her. I mean, I remember to this day we getting ready to go to church, and I have scholarships off, and she just looks, she's like, go ahead and sign that scholarship, boy, so we can go ahead and get this over with. And so I'm like, Tuskegee, and she's like, I ain't choosing, but she's saying she ain't choosing, but she's sliding that Tuskegee 11 and 10 my way. So I signed it on the way to church, sent it off the next morning, and August 9th, I was in Tuskegee, Alabama.
Had you ever visited Tuskegee, Kevin?
Never.
Was it a wake-up call when you got there?
It was a wake-up call because Tuskegee, when I got there in 2000, in 2001, it was under construction. Like they was digging up. It wasn't no gate. It wasn't a gate around campus. It was just free nilly. So it was a transition. But one thing we had is a tradition, and a tradition in which held us tight and close. So it didn't matter about what the campus was going to look. We knew it was going to be beautiful at some point. But right now, you have to grow with the campus. And when you see that campus blossom, so will you.
Well, on your way riding to Tuskegee, man, you got off the main road and you kind of got on those back roads. I mean, what were your thoughts when you got on some of those back roads?
Well, it's different. You got to remember, I was in Mississippi first.
Okay.
So I'm a city boy. I'm West Tampa through and through now. So it's my first time ever seeing red clay and all those things. So I'm praying. Only thing I'm doing, I'm praying to my God, like, hey, no red clay, because I'm a big sneakerhead, and that stuff messes up your shoes, man. So I didn't like the red clay being in Mississippi. So I'm thinking, and I'm looking around at Tuskegee, and I see spots. I'm like, ugh. But it wasn't as bad as it was in Mississippi. So, but as I'm going through Tuskegee, I kind of felt home already because I seen the community, I seen the development. It wasn't like it was when I was at junior college and was in the middle of nowhere. People say Tuskegee in the middle of nowhere, but it was a thriving community. It was local people who were born and raised there, like actually born there. You know, they had one of the best hospitals on campus back in the day. So it was home. People just tell you the stories of just generations and generations of being from that area.
Yeah. Well, it is definitely full of history to be in that area. And, like I said at the beginning of the show, one of the most historical Black colleges in America. Now, I want to ask you about your head coach, because a lot of people don't know a lot about Rick Comegys and what Rick Comegys brought to HBCU football and just football in general. But an outstanding coach, a winner. He did some things, man, and it's like if you got him to be your head coach, you were going somewhere. Y'all were going to win. There wasn't no doubt about that. Losing was just not part of his DNA. Talk a little bit about that guy, man, and what it was like to play for a coach. Because I only know him by name. And when we talk about iconic Black HBCU coaches, we hear a lot of names, but sometimes some names who should be in that conversation don't get mentioned. I think Rick Comegys is one of those guys whose name should be mentioned a little bit more. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to talk about your coach, man, because I think he's an outstanding guy.
Oh, man, listen, one of the best to ever do it, man. One thing about Coach Comegys is you're going to be prepared. The winning is going to come because of your preparation and how you do things and why you do things this way. He had this saying, man, that I'm going to kill you and then I'm going to bring you back to life. And it was just one of those things where he's going to put you through something that you've never been put through before a day in your life. And then I'm going to revive you. And when I revive you, you're going to be ready for the world. And so he's a big motivator. He's always going to keep you motivated. He's going to have you ready to run through a brick wall before the game. He's going to have you in a state of mind in which that it's only one thing, and that's Tuskegee football. It's only one thing to do, and that's be successful. It's only one thing to do, and that's go out and win. And it's just the program in itself. When you come into the program, the people that were there before you, they're going to get you to buy in. They're going to test you that, hey, is this really what you want? This Tuskegee academic side, but football is a whole nother program. We are smart. We are very, very highly educated, but please believe on this football field, we're tenacious. And we're going to get it in blood no matter what. And Rick Comagese was the cornerstone to all of it.
So you're there with Coach Comagese, and he gives you the key to the car to drive the team as the quarterback. What was that like, man? I mean, here's an iconic guy. He believes in you. You don't really know him yet, but with time, you got to know him. You got to believe in him, and now he's got all confidence and faith in you. How does that work?
That's my guy. So I'm his baby. So he never told me no. When it came time to hand it on over to me, let me take the helm and lead the team to victory. He just asked me a simple question. Huff, you ready? You all right? And I look him dead in his eyes like, Coach, we all right. We got this. I'm like, and you can see when I tell him those things, the weight off his shoulders, like literally, cool, calm, and collected. And we get into the game, and we're just as calm and cool as the ocean, baby, on a nice breezy day. And
Kevin, you're playing at a school, man, with a lot of history, and not just academically, but Tuskegee is a proud institution. But you got two other institutions in the state, man, where, man, I'm sure the pride in Alabama between you guys, state and A&M, oh my God. I mean, I can just imagine what it was like to have to play those other two schools, man, because everybody from Alabama, you went to one of the three. And depending on which one you went to, boy, you can talk some trash.
Right.
And I know not so much for you guys in Alabama A&M, but, man, when you guys had to play that Alabama State Turkey Day Classic, oh, my God. Had you ever – I mean, I'm sure it was almost like going back to high school with the amount of trash talking was going on.
Oh, man, they gotta separate us when we get off the bus. I mean, because you got to understand that's a unique game, and about that game is one interesting fact that I didn't see until I actually paid attention in one of my teammates, and Callan Kimball was a star wide receiver at the time. Yeah, he was like, "Hey, ain't nobody gonna be here." I was like, what? It's like, we gonna warm up? He's like, no, ain't nobody gonna be here. But when we go back in and we come out for kickoff, it's gonna be packed. He said, this is the fastest, this stadium gets packed faster in a 10-minute span than I ever seen before. Like literally, it's nobody. When you get ready to go for kickoff, it is packed to the roof. It was packed to the roof at the time. So that's what got your juices going, because you didn't see the bands walk in, but you heard them. But as you coming out, they already screaming, they playing. The fans on both sides. When you see them pom poms, you already know it's time to rock and roll, baby.
Well, Kevin, unlike a lot of rivalries where you're playing at your level. If you're D2, you're playing a rival D2. If you're D1, you're playing a rival D1. But another unique thing about the Turkey Day Classic between Alabama State and Tuskegee is the fact that, well, Tuskegee is Division II, State is Division I, so it's almost like, well, State should always win because they should have an advantage. But you told me that's not the way it works.
No, that's not the way it works. They probably got more scholarship on quality versus quantity.
Okay.
So we got a better quality football player over there at Tuskegee. They look good in uniform, no doubt. They look very good in uniform. You know, the D tackles look like D tackles, the offensive linemen look like offensive linemen, the wide receivers, 6'4", 6'5". I mean, they look beautiful, but we got NFL type caliber, type level guys wearing that, in that crimson and gold, baby. So it didn't matter what Alabama State had or what they thought they might have had or all those things, but it's when they come against Kevin Huff in Tuskegee, that's a L, a big L.
So I think you told me your senior year, man, you put a big L on those guys from Alabama State. Now, and another thing about that game is you guys never have home field advantage because the game is in Montgomery.
Always in Montgomery.
Not in Alabama State.
It's their homecoming. It used to be they have a homecoming game now, but that game was considered a homecoming. Alabama State never really had a traditional homecoming. They just started it, but that was their homecoming game. So just imagine what it was like playing at that time. You had Hornet fans from all over coming down to Montgomery at that time. You know what I mean? And the crazy thing about it, there's no students at the game. All the students are going home. The only students are the football players, the cheerleaders, and the band members.
Okay. So it's all alumni at the game.
All alumni and the people from the city of Tuskegee and local towns nearby. Wow.
Well, that probably didn't even affect you mentally that, okay, well, so what? I mean, but playing in that game, man, what kind of goosebumps did you get in playing that game? Because I mean, it is a real big game. I mean, it's a game that, hey, man, everybody's talking about. Everybody wants to win. And the thing about coaches who haven't been there a while, I mean, Coach Kevin is coming in, so he's adapting to it. You're coming in, you're adapting to it, but it don't take long to adapt to a rival game, man. It don't take long at all. So you and he coming in there, man, and y'all got work to do. And folks telling y'all not going to get this done, and y'all not trying to hear that.
No, we're not trying to hear it. But the head coach that's at Tuskegee now, Aaron James.
Yeah.
And Aaron James made a statement to me before, during the year. And we was just talking, how we talking to us, who better, this, that, and the other. And he said, I never lost to Alabama State. And I looked at him and I said, well, I ain't going to lose. And the first year that we played them, they won the SWAC that year. In 2004, they won it. They were 10-1. We were 9-1. And I had a little chip on my shoulder because the newspaper said Kevin Huff is a great quarterback, but he's no Tavares Jackson.
Wow.
And they did a comparison. They did a comparison about each position, and they did the coaching. So they did check marks and which one they were siding with.
Right.
They gave us the coach. They gave us Coach Kevin.
Okay.
They gave them the quarterback, and they gave us defense. Offensively, they didn't quite respect us. The newspaper, it's Montgomery Advertiser at the time who did this. So, and I personally took a grudge, and my brother, my roommate at the time, it took him some time to calm me down because I was frustrated, and I think I had about 48 hours to get under control. And he said, okay, just go out and do what you do. And like you say, the weight dropped off, and it got time to rock and roll. And it's a feel out thing, the first half. And I can tell you, I don't think we've been up, or I don't think we've ever been up at halftime. I want to say that it's either been a tie game or we're down.
Yeah.
But we know what's to come. So we kind of fill them out. And then second half is just we really got into them in the second half. We beat them think we beat them by 10 points. And that was the best team up until this last year that they had. I think that was the best team that they've had ever since. And we beat the brakes off of them. And ever since then, when they gave us their best, I wasn't seeing what we didn't. We just told everybody, don't even worry about Alabama State. We just beat them at their best. So we'll take whoever. Yeah, we just focused on our conference at the time. We knew it was a money game for us, but we knew what the outcome was.
Gotcha.
And our president, Dr. Payton, really made sure that I was focused. I was in tune to the game because we had some personal meetings that. we used to meet that man down in that Kellogg Conference Center, and he'll call me like, Kevin. He had this real strong voice.
Yeah, right. Right.
Kevin, I need to meet you for breakfast. Yes, sir. I'll be there.
It's like your daddy calling you to the room, like, son, I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot on the line, Kevin.
Right,
okay?
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot on the line, Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't want to come out of this thing looking bad. So that's great, man. I mean, because who gets an opportunity to have the president of the college call you down for a big game like that and want to talk to just you?
Man, our president was, Dr. Payton was hands-on. He was hands-on with the football team.
Gotcha.
He was every road trip. He would come down and he would talk to us before we got on the buses.
Gotcha.
It didn't matter where he was going to send us off every time. It didn't matter, how corny it was or whatever, that people might have thought it was corny or whatnot. But as I go to universities, I go, across the universities and was able to see a lot of things, I still hadn't seen a president that was involved as much as he was when it came to football.
Okay.
And it didn't mean nothing to a lot of guys back then, but now you can see the difference. Yeah.
Okay. Well, man, we're gonna take this quick break, man, and come back to you. We're gonna switch gears a little bit and talk to you a little bit more about quarterbacking in today's time and these guys who are playing now when we come back from the commercial break. So don't go nowhere. My guest tonight, great guy, Kevin Huff, former quarterback at Tuskegee University. The only guy probably anybody got called to the office or got a call from the president about a game. Yeah, he's the guy. So we're going to bring y'all commercial breaks right now. I want to remind you that this is the Post Route Show. I'm your host, Earl Kitchings. And just know that we are doing some things, as we already stated. We started off the show talking about our initiative, but want you to know that we are also bringing to you our newest sponsor, the J. Markell Watch Company out of Albany, Georgia. We are so happy to have them because they are now the official watch provider for the BIP Memorial Trophy in 2026. So each one of our winners is going to get one of these fine timepieces that this company makes. They are an upstart company. They've been around for a couple of years now, but they are slowly working their way into the industry of making fantastic timepieces. And their slogan is luxury automatic watches crafted for generations. So we want everyone to know that, hey, they are a proud sponsor of our BIP Memorial Trophy in 2026, the official watch provider. We're so happy to be partnering with them. If you're interested in seeing their line of products, go to J. Markell Watch. That's JMarquel Watch.com. And you can find out more about this company, J. Markell Watch Company. We appreciate them, and we hope you will too. Then also, don't forget that if you are looking to help our brand, we want you to go out and get you, hey, nothing like wearing a nice hoodie. So go get you one of these nice hoodies that we are producing for our fan base and our guests and people like that. Our new quarter five back hoodie, $50 for the smaller sizes, small to extra large, $60 for the XX through 4X. Got our logo on the front. So if you want to support us, hey, if you want to really show how we are making a difference, hey, support us by buying some gear from us. That's just one of the things. Go to our store at quarterfiveback.com, click the store, and you can order your hoodie or t-shirt from there. And then we want to remind you also that my book, The Forgotten QBs, you can still get a copy of my book. A lot of historical data, a lot of historical facts. If you haven't picked up this book, your library shelves are empty. Let me tell you, because this book definitely talks about a lot of outstanding black quarterbacks from 1903 to 1990 from both HBCUs and PWIs. It's filled with a lot of information. You get your copy. All our shipping of our merchandise is free. So, hey, we'll take care of that. But get your copy of my book. And, hey, by the way, if you get one, I'll make sure I autograph it for you. So that's what we got going on for you. But now we're going to have our resident mental performance specialist give us his talk on Psyched Up. Hear what Dr. William Kitchings Jr. has to say this week.
The play breaks down. The crowd gets loud. The last throw is still in your head. And somewhere in the middle of all that, the next snap is coming. My name is Dr. William Kitchings Jr., and this is Psyched Up. Last session, we talked about where attention should go during execution. External, specific, trained. Today is what happens when something pulls it away. Because under pressure, attention naturally narrows. It pulls inward towards self-evaluation, away from execution. The crowd noise isn't the problem. The previous play isn't the problem. The problem is where attention lands after those things hit. Research on self-talk and performance shows that instructional cues, short, specific, task-relevant words or phrases, are significantly more effective at redirecting attention than motivational phrases. Ball out fast redirects attention to execution. Come on, let's go redirects attention to emotion. One opens the door back to performance. The other keeps you standing outside of it. So here's the work. Build one instructional cue for the moment your focus gets pulled. Something short, specific, and tied to the next execution demand. Not stay focused. That's a reminder, not a redirect. Something like back shoulder or eyes high. One phrase that pulls attention immediately back to our last session said it belongs. External, specific, executable. Practice using it in low stakes reps before you need it in high stakes ones. Focus doesn't disappear under pressure. It just goes somewhere it shouldn't. Train the redirect, and pressure stops being a distraction and starts being a cue. I'm Dr. William Kitchings Jr., and this is Psyched Up, a space built for the moments behind the moments.
Always glad to have Doc in the house. We're going to get back to my guest tonight from Tuskegee University, the Golden Tigers, former quarterback, one of the best they ever had, Kevin Huff. Kevin, welcome back to the show.
Glad to be back.
So let me just ask this. So now, from the time you finish your collegiate career till now, what are some of the differences in the quarterbacks that really stand out to you right now when you kind of analyze them and watch them play in this day and time?
That's a great question. The development part, and the willing to be great. And I must say this in a respectable way. When I talk about willing to be great, not just within yourself, within the offense and the team that you're assigned to. And a lot of guys now want to come in and everybody wants to play right away. You know, everybody wants to be that guy, be center stage and all those things. But as a person who's seeing what's going on, I can't afford for you to. I know you have a great arm. I know you do have done a lot of things in high school, but as far as what this offense takes from, as far as how we need to go about it, if I throw the ball 25 times, I don't need you to complete 12 balls. I don't have time for you to be coaching you on the run to, when it's leaning on you to be that guy. So just waiting patiently, and when it's your time to shine, you coming out slinging. So instead of those 12, now those 12 go to 18, 19, 20, and that's the difference. They're much more involved and tuned to the game as far as their mechanics now. That was a big thing when I was growing up, was we had strong arms. We did a lot of things, but our mechanics were way off. We had to learn how to throw and do things the correct way. And the development of the kid now, as far as being a quarterback and the brain that he has now, I think is far along than what it was when I came out. But it's just the obvious of being able to be that guy right away. And I don't think your body is ready for that right now.
When you were in high school, did you have a quarterback trainer?
No.
And what I'm noticing, Kevin, is, and I'm only noticing this because I've been involved with what we're doing over the last 3 to 4 years, but I'm seeing a lot of guys who look like me and you that are quarterback trainers. How much is that making a difference for young men who look like you and me to become better mechanically? That's one thing, but then the mental aspect of teaching those aspects to them. How important are these guys now? Because they are popping up all over the place, and I'm just happy to see that, because I know for a lot of years we didn't have them.
You didn't have it, and it only came from the Caucasian side, where they had the loopholes. They might have not been as athletic, but they had the mechanics in which the poise, the confidence, and not to get rattled. We were very, very emotional. Back because we wanted it, but to stay poised, to stay cool, calm, and collective. Those things are what the trainer installs into you. If you get a head start on it, it'll come full circle for you. So I think that's the difference, and it's very important that guys such as me, that look like me and you, are doing it, because I can connect better on a certain level. I can get my point across a little bit better to a kid who's wanting to know how to play this position.
And what would be the optimal age you would encourage a parent to start getting their son to work out with a trainer? And then how do you go about finding the best possible trainer in your area? Because some of these guys are out of state and a long ways away. And if you don't have a guy in your area, how do you go about finding one?
It's normally going to be around the populated cities. You're going to find a couple. Your local high school coaches had the connects to getting you somebody. It's somebody that can train you into something. With some type of expertise that has the background and what are you trying to get to. But I think you should start around, I would say, if you're playing quarterback, me personally, as the brain develops, when we talk about full circle, I would say between that 10 to 12 range, so your body can handle the endurance, and you can get your attention span is a little bit better than what it was when it was 6 and 8. A lot of people, you know, they want to get their kids out there and they want to do those things. But I tell them, I say, he's not going to win a Super Bowl right now. He's not going to lose one.
Right.
You know, so there's no need to rush, and you can overdo it.
Yeah.
And you don't want the kid to lose that passion. So I like to get the kid right before he's going into middle school. Okay. I think that's the prime age because his focus is better.
Okay. As you look at some of the guys at the higher level of playing football, give us one or two guys who you think have really set themselves apart from the pack as being some of the most elite professional quarterbacks that we see in this day and time.
I mean, like right now, that's playing in the NFL right now?
Or, you know, within the last 20 years.
Oh, last 20 years that separated themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, Pat Mahomes, boy, that's
without a doubt.
Yeah, that's upper epsilon. That's peak. But guys that I like guys that have been through something. You know, like a Donovan McNabb. You know, like a Dante Culpepper. Okay. Guys that went through a lot. They get to a certain status of being an elite quarterback. I like the path, you know, always, you know, Air McNair, you know, those guys. But, you know, even, you know, Rodgers had to sit behind Favre before he could do his thing. You know, he's still, you know, tagging along, but he's still a pivotal thrower in the NFL. Yeah. I don't know how much his body can take it, but that arm ain't going nowhere. But it's a lot of guys that really, you know, when you talk about Brady, you talk about, you know, like Jim Kelly. You know, I grew up watching all those guys, man. You know, but you know, I was a Dan Marino fan. You know, growing up. So, you know, just gunslingers, man. Guys who can go out without a doubt and do it. You know, and not think twice about it.
You ever seen anybody with a quicker release than Dan Marino, man?
One person.
I'm listening.
Michael Vick.
Okay. That's fair. Because Marino, man, a blink of an eye and it's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasted no time.
Yeah. Marino definitely had it. He had that it factor.
Yeah.
Body size, just mind, arm string, you know, accuracy. He was the total package. But Michael Vick was a different specimen.
Yeah.
And he changed the game. When we talk about people who change, he changed the game. Like you don't see 6'4", 255, 65-pound linebackers no more. You don't see those. You don't see big guys out there on the foot. No, you're not going to catch a Michael Vick with big, slow linebackers. You're not going to catch anybody with slow, big linemen like that. So he changed defenses. You see a lot of people doing a lot with 3 men instead of 4. That's because of Mike Vick. That's not because it's, you know, it's over time we need to do that. No, that's because Mike Vick, because, you know, we're going to get a rotation. You know, back in the day, they didn't have a rotation like that. You know, those guys played a lot of snaps. I didn't see Warren Sapp come out the game, any of those things. But now you have a 8 to 9 man rotation.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So that's one of those things where he changed the game and how it's played defensively.
And I would agree with that, because the other part of it is, in this day and time, they talk about dual threat quarterbacks, right? And yeah, that's kind of a name they put out there now. But I got to be honest, man, when I was growing up in our communities, in our neighborhoods, in our high schools, there was always dual threat quarterbacks, man. Our guys could always run and throw.
That's a name for a black quarterback.
Dual threat.
That's the name for a black quarterback.
Dual threat.
I have not seen I've rarely seen a sitting duck, a black sitting duck. Right? That's what we call pocket passes. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
A big
been a
pocket.
while.
It's been a while. I've never seen one.
Hey.
Most of them, I know they can move, they can agile, but now, guess what? It was frowned upon even when I came out of high school, you know. But now you got to have that because the defense can't account for you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they could account for you back then when you were just sitting in the pocket. But now, you know, it's a luxury to have one of those things now. You know what I mean? It was big frowned upon. You know, you had to be. The knock was you had to be at least 6'4", you know, 225. That was the measurements. 6'4", 225.
Well, you know, when we talk about black quarterbacks and whether or not we fit the prototypical size or whether we fit the prototypical ability, you know, a lot of things have changed. The defense has definitely changed the quarterback position because when Lawrence Taylor started running guys down, when defensive linemen start running quarterbacks down with speed, and speed became that factor in the game, either you better have some great blocking and come up with some schemes, or your guy better be able to be mobile, because otherwise they're going to be in trouble.
Right.
And this has been the reason why a Michael Vick, a Lamar Jackson, and I've told people even this, I said, well, I know you talk about Michael Vick, man, but there was a guy by the name of Randall Cunningham who could throw it and run, man, and he didn't have a problem taking off, and he was 6'4", about 220, but he was sleek. He was real sleek.
The first athletic quarterback I seen that can throw it 90 yards. He was the first one.
Right.
You know, I used to pack my game at the rim.
Okay.
You know, I wore 12 and little Randall.
There you go. There you go. Because if Dante Culpepper breaks containment and he starts rumbling, dude, if you're a cornerback, you don't want to be trying to hit this guy. I can imagine no guys wanted to really hit you if you broke containment back in the day.
Yeah. Not that 6'5", 240, 250.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. It's like, man, I'm going to truck you now. Get out of my way. I'm going to truck you.
Right.
Oh, man. Okay. So, yeah. Hey, well, that's great, man, because I've seen those that size quarterback, man, and the evolution of the black quarterback from the days when you had to have, of course, they talk about having the academics or the aptitude, all the things that they did to try to hold black quarterbacks down, man. Those things have faded away. It's like, look, man, we can do it both ways. We can run it, or we can stand in the pocket and throw. We can do either. It just depends. And my thing is, depending on what kind of system a team has, it will dictate whether or not you need a dual threat or you need that drop back passer, because your system will dictate that. So that's the one thing that a lot of people got to understand in this day and time, that systems continue to dictate what quarterbacks will do and defenses will do to dictate that quarterback. So yeah, man, you know, I enjoyed our conversation on the phone. I'm enjoying this tonight, but I got to give you your props tonight, man, because I don't want this time to get away from me and I'm rushing through it. But Kevin Huff, man, you know, you did your thing at Tuskegee, and I know a lot of people probably say when you got to Tuskegee, the name was Maurice Hurd, but I know that you came along and etched your name right there with him. It's like, yeah, Maurice Hurd, Kevin Huff, yeah, right there. So you being on the show tonight, man, means so much, because as we continue to grow what we're doing, we love to hear stories and hear guys like yourself take us back and talk about things. I mean, it was only 20 years ago when you were coming out of the chute, man. And I know it seemed like, man, it was in 20 years. Yeah, it's been 20 years. Right. But at the same time, you know, it's a good thing, because you can now look back and take that experience to these young men that you're teaching now. So now you are coaching now. Is that correct?
Yes. I'm a head coach now at Notasulga High School.
Notasulga.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what part of the state is that in Alabama?
It's in Macon County. It's on the other side of the interstate from Tuskegee. So
Okay.
Tuskegee will take you right. Notasulga will bring you left. It's in the back.
Well, you
it's in the back pocket, close to Auburn.
Okay. Well, you still right there in the home grounds then.
Yes.
Okay. Well, hey, they still know you then. Shoot, you ain't going nowhere. Okay. And before I make my presentation to you, how difficult is it to try to get young men, not necessarily from your school, but just to make them aware, not so much to get them to go there, but to make them aware of HBCUs?
It always starts with education.
Yeah.
It always, I believe education starts at home.
Okay.
And I always use myself as an example. My mom and my dad went to Bethune-Cookman. It's just one of those things where I'm taking you to the Florida Classic. Right. I'm going to take you to the Bayou Classic. I'm going to take you to Atlanta so you can see Clark, Morehouse, Spelman. I'm going to take you so you can see these places that are made for you.
Yep.
And from that day, I was embedded into, Black college.
Gotcha.
Any college, regardless. But I find myself as a very big historian on Black college football because I used to, couldn't wait for the magazines to come out back in the day. The talk shows, BET.
Yep.
I used to watch. I watched Black college games. It's a big game that's coming on. I'm watching Black college. I'm about to watch Ted White. In Indianapolis. They playing the Gateway Classic, and I'm about to watch Howard play a team, and Ted White is that quarterback. I'm finna watch this one.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. I'm watching Leon Murray at Tennessee State. Playing in the Liberty Bowl against Jackson State. I'm watching that.
Okay.
So, my inspiration comes, through Black college, but it starts in the household, and I don't think that the household is if the household hasn't been in it, they don't know.
Okay.
And we have other outlets as far as school is concerned, or mentorships and all those things to get kids on board, but it has to be within that household, and we have to get inside the household. I always told people we have to get inside the household first. We can always reach out to the churches and all those things, but I want to go where they're going to spend the most time. They're going to spend the most time in our house and at school. If they spend any more time than any two of those places, it's bad.
Yeah. Well, you're speaking facts, man. Well, Kevin Huff, let me tell you, man, by you being on our show tonight, as we always do, we like to thank you, but we'd also like to let you know that because you have joined us tonight, man, we'd like to welcome you to the fraternity, to the brotherhood of Black quarterbacks known as Quarterfied Back. This is your lifetime membership certificate, which means you'll be a part of us and we'll be a part of you for the rest of your life. But going forth, man, we just want to welcome you and let you know that we are thankful and we are proud of your time as a quarterback at Tuskegee, and definitely proud of you as a coach now. But welcome to the brotherhood, man, and we're grateful and thankful to bring you in and make you one of the new brothers in what we're doing.
Thank you, Mr. Kitchings, man. I appreciate it, man. It's always good to be honored, like I said before, but to be a lifetime membership, to have a lifetime membership, I'm forever grateful for this.
And you didn't have to go through no real pledge period to get that.
I had a phone, man. I had so many phone calls before the show. My athletic director from Lincoln called me like, "Hey, man, you didn't tell me you was about to cross." I was like, "No. It's a podcast."
I got you.
Yeah, shout out to Harry Stinson, man. Harry, he had just called me, and I was like, "Nah, Harry. It's a podcast." But I'm grateful for you allowing me on your platform.
I appreciate you, man. Well, we got to get out here because I'm looking at this clock. It's like almost down. But hey, man, stay on the line. We're gonna chop it up a little bit more after we get off when we finish. All right?
Okay.
All right. Thanks. Well, that's gonna do it for us tonight here on the Post Route Show. Join us next Monday night for another guest And as we always say, hey, go deep and go for the bomb. See you guys next Monday night. Take care.